Following his draw against Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title, it might seem like an odd time to ask whether Manny Pacquiao is the greatest boxer of all time. But it isn't. If anything, it's the perfect time, because if a 46-year-old man can step into a ring 3 decades after his debut and still take an elite champion to a draw, what else do you call him? But before we dive in too deep, let's be clear, Pacquiao is not the GOAT. That mythical crown still belongs to Sugar Ray Robinson, and anyone who argues otherwise is probably kidding themselves. Sugar Ray turned pro in 1940, a 19-year-old lightweight with dynamite in his gloves. But by 1951, his record already read 129, 1-2 with 85 knockouts. Plus, he'd had a welterweight title reign, and he held the middleweight belt. After his lone loss in '43, Sugar Ray rattled off a 91-fight unbeaten streak that lasted 8 years. He went on to win the middleweight crown 5 times, still a record for any division, and he came within a whisker of claiming the light heavyweight title before heat exhaustion robbed him of the win. Sugar Ray's exploits went as far as a full 6 weight classes above where he started, and across 25 years as an elite fighter. That's why they call him the GOAT. Since Sugar Ray, the only man who really comes close to posting stats like those was Roberto Duran. In 1968, the Hands of Stone made his debut as a 16-year-old super featherweight phenom. He soon tore through the lightweight division, stacking up 72 wins against a single loss, and by 1980, he had 12 lineal title defenses to his name, as well as the scalp of the great Sugar Ray Leonard. Duran would go on to win titles in 4 divisions and fight across 8 weight classes in a 34-year pro career that ended when he was 50. That's ludicrous longevity, and across an obscene amount of divisions. He's the post-Sugar Ray GOAT. Now, this is where someone is bound to chirp in with something like, what about Mayweather? So yes, let's talk about Floyd. And yes, the man was brilliant. 50 wins, no losses, and 15 World Championship victories. The pretty boy was a master tactician in the ring, but let's not pretend he belongs in the same conversation as Sugar Ray or Duran. Mayweather only competed in 5 weight classes, and he retired at 38 after 21 years as a pro, because no, the glorified exhibition bout against an 0-0 Conor McGregor doesn't count. Yes, he was a preternaturally gifted boxer, but he's not in the GOAT discussions. Unlike his old foe, the mighty Pac-Man. The only man of the modern era who dared to chase numbers like those of Robinson and Duran. Pacquiao turned pro in 1995, a skinny 16-year-old flyweight with a whirlwind style and an unrelenting motor. Within 3 years, he was champion. Then came the jump, or to be more precise, jumps plural. He fought across 10 weight divisions in total and won 12 world titles in 8 of them. That's more than any man in history by multiple weight classes. Forget Floyd's 0. Pacquiao's career is something else entirely. A span of 3 decades at an elite level, fighting bigger men, harder punches, and stylistic nightmares across 10 divisions. That doesn't happen in modern boxing. It's never happened in history. So no, Manny Pacquiao is not the greatest of all time, but the man's career is a statistical fever dream. And maybe that's the point. Greatness isn't just about perfection or a pretty 0 on your record. It's about daring to do things other fighters won't even try. In that sense, Pacquiao hasn't just been the best of this century. He's been the only one worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as the true all-time greats. Claressa Shields kept her undisputed middleweight crown intact with a dominant decision win over New Zealand's Lani Daniels. The win in Shields' hometown of Detroit has her now calling out the biggest name in boxing history. It was the first time Shields, 30, fought twice in 1 year since 2022, but the self-proclaimed GOAT made it clear that she now wants boxing royalty. I want to fight Layla Ali, declared Shields somewhat surprisingly. We put up the $15 million for the fight, and we ain't heard nothing back yet. Hopefully she saw the fight tonight and says, you know what, I think I can take her. So hopefully she saw it tonight and tells us yes. Before the current wave of women's boxing stars, Laila Ali, the daughter of Muhammad Ali, was the icon of the sport. However, Ali retired with a perfect record in 2007. Today, Ali is 47 and almost 2 decades removed from her last fight, so the call-out seems utterly ridiculous. But with Shields having cleaned out division after division, what else is left but a money fight? In other championship results, 22-year-old Xander Zayas became the youngest current champ with a decisive win over Jorge Garcia. He claimed the vacant WBO junior middleweight title with a dominant unanimous decision. To the heavyweights, the WBO has ordered the undisputed champion Alexander Usyk to start negotiations for a mandatory defense against Joseph Parker. By virtue of this order, the parties have 30 days upon issuance of this letter to reach terms, the WBO wrote to Usyk and Parker's teams. Failure to do so will result in this committee ordering purse bid proceedings in accordance with WBO regulations. Parker, 33, earned the interim WBO title with his win over Zhili Zhang earlier this year. Now on a hot streak, the New Zealander stands as the official challenger to the undisputed champ. But Usyk, 38, has never been one to jump when a sanctioning body says so. After all, he just gave up his IBF belt so he could have a rematch with Tyson Fury. The Ukrainian reclaimed his undisputed status with a 5th-round TKO of the new IBF champ Daniel Dubois just this month. Whether he listens to the WBO remains to be seen. And finally, boxing mourns the loss of a legend, Dwight Qawi, who has died at age 72. Born Dwight Braxton in Baltimore, the Camden buzzsaw learned to fight behind bars before turning pro at 25. Qawi, who changed his name after converting to Islam, claimed world titles at light heavy and cruiserweight during a fierce run in the 1980s before being inducted into the Hall of Fame. But that's not all. At just 5'6", Qawi became the shortest heavyweight in history, and he still gave George Foreman hell for 7 rounds. But if you want to see him at his best, cue up his first cruiserweight war with Evander Holyfield. Qawi was by far the toughest fight I ever had. By far, Holyfield said of their 15-round slobber knocker. No fighter ever pushed me to that limit. Oh my, that was a very tough fight.
Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.